There are several different forms of ambushes, and most people think that an ambush is just simply run up, hit the enemy, and run away. But as you're going to see, there's a lot more to it, because today we're going to talk about the art of the ambush. Hello, my name is Arthur, and I'm the founder and CEO of Tackleberry Solutions. We teach wartime tactics to citizens for civil defense purposes, and today I want to talk to you about the art of the ambush. Now, there are several different types of ambushes out there, and those that you're going to actually be involving and probably encountering in the future are going to be a near ambush, a far ambush, and a complex ambush. And we're going to really focus more on the complex ambush because that is modern forms of ambushing. So traditionally, an ambush such as a near ambush is going to look like this. You're going to have your baseline and you're going to have your flanking element, and you're going to formulate an L. The reasoning for that is everybody can fire on the enemy and you won't hit each other. These guys are shooting this way, these guys are shooting that way, and what it also does is it sets you up traditionally for a flank and a destroy move. What happens is you let your enemy walk right into the L. You want them as danger close as possible so that they're sure to be all within inside the L. And then the baseline would open up fire, and you would usually start with grenades and or claymores. Now, let's pause for a moment. What constitutes a near ambush is the fact that you can use hand grenades. In essence, I can throw a hand grenade and it actually fall within my enemy's ranks. If they are outside the ability, the range of your hand grenade, in essence, I can throw a hand grenade but it won't make it to them, well, that's a far ambush, and that's a whole nother ball game. But when you're ambushing somebody, you want them to be in a near ambush because their chances of survival are dramatically lower. And we're going to talk about how to survive that in just one moment. When it's setting an ambush and your enemy is within inside your L, you're going to start the firing. You're going to throw hand grenades, you're going to detonate your claymores, and take out the majority of your enemy personnel like that. Then what's going to happen is the baseline commander is going to yell for his guys to lift and shift their fire. Now, your flanking element is going to be from an elevated position, hopefully, but some kind of terrain of dominance, whether it's elevation or concealment or covered position. The idea is to keep your enemy's head down. What they're hearing is gunfire, bullets zinging over their head, and hopefully they're all on the ground. Hopefully for you. At this point, your advancing flanking element will not get shot as they're approaching the enemies. Now, once they are right on top of your enemy, your baseline commander is going to yell, "Cease fire!" And all you guys at the baseline are going to stop shooting. That way you don't hit your friendlies as they're coming across. They're going to literally drive right across and kill everything in their path. Once they have reached the very end of the baseline, so they actually see the last guy on the baseline, they're going to yell limit of advance or LOA. They will then stop, take a knee. At this point, the guy on this end is going to face that direction. There'll be guys facing to the rear, guys facing to the front, and guys facing down towards the baseline. They're pulling 360 security. Now your baseline is going to stand up and they're going to advance across. And what they're going to do is dead check everybody as they go across. Shoot them in the head, make sure there's nobody left alive. And once they make it all the way up to the top, again, baseline commander is going to call limit of advance, LOA, everybody stop. Again, they will take a knee. They will then start picking up their 360 security. At that point, you'll actually break down to completely surround the objective, formulating an outer 360 security perimeter, and then you will have guys go in and start gathering ammunition, food, water, intelligence, equipment, whatever your needs may be. Now that is a traditional near side ambush. Now, how do you survive that? Well, there's only one way to survive that. Charge their lines. Because if you stay stagnant, as you can see, you're going to die. So the only way to survive that is to get inside their lines so that they can no longer fire at you for fear of hitting their own men. The easiest way to do that is just to charge forward directly into the enemy ahead of you. Now, or whoever's closest to you, because the shorter distance, the less likely you're going to get hit. Once you realize that you're within hand grenade range, you should automatically know This is a near ambush. If grenades and claymores are going off, guys, guess what? It's a near ambush. And the only way to survive it is to charge into those lines immediately. When you get into their lines, you should already be out of ammunition in your rifle. You should have depleted everything in that magazine, because you should be suppressing fire that heavily that you have nothing left in that rifle. You should be automatically transitioning to your pistol, a knife, your knuckles, your teeth, whatever you got, because now you're in close quarter combat. That is literally the only way that you're going to stand a chance in hell in surviving it. All right, let's move on. So that is your traditional near side ambush. And we're not going to talk about far side ambush. We cover that in the manual. But let's look at a complex ambush. Traditionally, a complex ambush would look something like this. Convoy vehicle coming through the center of the city, elevated buildings on left and right, 2 to 3 stories tall. IED goes off in the front, disabling the lead vehicle. RPG is shot at the rear vehicle, disabling it. Now hellfire comes raining down from above from guys on top of the building rooftops, shooting RPGs and machine gun fire, tossing Molotov cocktails and grenades down on the remaining vehicles. Chances of surviving, freaking slim as hell. The only way to survive it, punch the gas and push your way through. You can't go backwards. Forward's the only answer, and you can't drive through a building. Well, you can. It's just not recommended. Now, the only other option you have is to dismount the vehicle and try to run inside the building that these guys are standing on top of. I would not want to do that. It happens. It's not something I would want to do, because what happens when you get there and that door is locked and it's a heavy grade steel door? I don't have time to put up a freaking explosive charge on it. I ain't got time to do crap. I'm getting shot. So I just left an armored vehicle to stand on the side of the street and get shot. Not a logical solution. That being said, you got to remember your gunners are getting pulverized, because from above, what do these guys see? Hey, there's a truck gunner. Boop. And they're lighting that cat up. Your gunners are going to have a very high mortality rate, and the only thing they've got is just shooting back up at them. So keep that in mind. The simplest and best thing to do is just push through and get the hell out of there and reflex later, come back, kick their ass another day. Survive the fight another day. Now, that's great, but we don't really have RPG rockets, and we don't really have IEDs, or do we? So let me tell you another way to do a complex ambush that will actually work with what you can currently acquire and build today, right now, in modern America. So you have a convoy. Let's say it's UN soldiers. Whatever. UN soldiers coming through with up-armored vehicles. All right. As they're coming through, we pull up a freaking big old school bus to the front and to the rear, and we shut it down. Now, keep in mind, an object in motion is easier to keep in motion. An object that is stopped requires more energy and effort to get it moving again, especially if it's ramming up against the side of a freaking gigantic 66-passenger school bus. Now, if you can get the vehicle to stop, that's mo better. Also, along those lines, strategically placed on either side of the street, are vehicles that have about 40 pounds of tannerite in them. Now you have IEDs. Line across the rooftops are your shooters. Once the vehicles have been stopped, they just start unloading all kinds of hell on them. Now you can start throwing down Molotov cocktails, fire bottles. Again, something else we teach you and tell you how to make. You can throw down hand grenades. You can even try to lob freaking grenade launchers and shoot a grenade launcher right inside through that turret and into the vehicle. If you are successful in that and getting your grenade inside that vehicle, you'll kill everybody inside of it because of overpressure and shrapnel. Now, you can just lay down a barrage of fire. If they dismount the vehicle, shoot the tannerite. So if they try to come into the buildings where you are, start shooting the tannerite and setting it off. You have a massive wave of explosion and shrapnel. Quite frankly, at close intervals, if they just happen to have a truck sitting right beside that IED, you shoot that antenna right, chances are very high you're going to jack that truck up, whether it's armored or not. You're going to jack that crap up and add to the chaos and confusion, and definitely destroy and definitely injure their gunner, and more than likely destroy their primary crew serve weapon, which now is not effective against you. Kind of something that you might want to do. I mean, a car door flying at you at 3,000 feet per second is no freaking joke. Now, there's something else you're going to want to do, and this is something that a lot of people forget. You want a high avenue of escape, okay? If you're doing this and these guys start hitting the buildings and you can't seem to stop them, you don't want to be on that rooftop when they get there. They're pissed off and they're looking to kill. They're going to come up and just start chunking hand grenades up there on top of you. Where are you going to go? So the best thing you can do is already have a zip line acquired in advance, already hooked in, and have these guys in gear staged and ready to go, so that, holy crap, they're hitting the building, go, exfil, and you can start leaving guys still suppressing fire, shooting those freaking IEDs to detonate those to try to slow them down, slow down their advancement. And remember what it's going to blow out, so it's going to attack the bottom of the building you're on. Well, while everybody else is running that zip line and getting the hell out of there, so that when they do get to the rooftop, there's nobody there. Now, that is how you would do an effective ambush. Keep in mind, what a lot of people forget is you have to have a fast, high avenue of escape that will provide you with cover and or concealment. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a great day.